Hey everyone, this is Chris from Katana, and today's video is all about how to track costs of your materials as well as products. If you're a new user of Katana, perhaps one of the core struggles in your business is related to tracking how much your products cost when you make them, as well as keeping a solid eye on your margins. Quite a common problem is if you buy materials that quite often change in prices, then therefore your product cost actually changes quite a lot as well. And these things can be very difficult and challenging to keep a track of over time, especially if you're scaling rapidly or using materials across multiple products. Then doing something like this with spreadsheets could be also very cumbersome. So there's a lot of different types of methodologies to track your costs for your material and products, such as first in, first out, or last in, first out. The methodology we use at Katana is for our perpetual inventory system, which tracks costs through time, is moving average cost. And in this video, we're going to demonstrate how it calculates the cost of your products and how these different interactions work with each other between material and product level so that you can make more accurate business decisions when this information comes to you live and on the spot. So to get started, I've set up a very simple account with one product, and the product is called a printed t-shirt. This is an item that we basically take from a blank, we print a picture on it, and we sell it for $5 US. You'll see here that I currently don't have a cost or a profit associated with it, so I will go ahead and go inside of here and set up the bill of materials. So you'll notice here on the general info tab that there is the sales price and two cost columns, the ingredients cost and the operations cost. Ingredients cost is what materials contribute cost to that product, and operations, which are accrued from the processes that are taken to make that product. So first we'll add a product recipe, and in this recipe I'm going to add a material called a blank t-shirt, which I currently don't have in my system, so I need to add it as a new material. It's measured by the piece, and the default purchase price per unit, let's make this $1. Now the default purchase price per unit isn't necessarily the cost of this item all the time. What it actually is the default price that gets added to a purchase order when you generate a PO for that specific material. So we'll go ahead and complete that and add it to the system and say that it takes 1 unit of this material to make one of these printed t-shirts. Now you'll see this column here that says stock cost here inside of the recipe section. It's currently using as the default field the default purchase price that we set up with the material. But what's actually going to happen is this value is going to pull from your stock page based on your purchasing activities related to this material, because the price of this material may fluctuate over time. If it's something that you buy on day one at one price and on day two at a different price, it gets factored into the moving average cost of this product. Now the next thing we need to do is add product operations. So I'm going to call this a printing operation, and I'm going to assign this to my print station at a cost per hour of $10 US with a time frame of 3 minutes, which is going to give me an operations cost of 50 cents per unit. And then when we go back to the general info tab, you will see that the ingredients cost is $1 and the operations cost is 50 cents, or in total $1.50. That $1.50 will then pull over to this page here to give you the costing for that printed t-shirt. Now what's quite cool about this items page for products is the cost will update over time as your material prices fluctuate. And this will give you an opportunity to kind of see, okay, this is the printed t-shirt that I make, and my margin on that t-shirt is 70% because it cost me $1.50. Now currently we don't have any moving average costs as they relate to the materials, so it's only pulling the $1 default purchase price at this stage. So the next area we're going to look at is our stock page. Our stock page has all of our items here, and there are three very particular columns that are extremely important when it comes to average costing. Number one is the in-stock column. This tells you how much of a material or product you have on hand and in stock right now. Then there's the value in stock. So basically it would be what is the quantity of items you have and how much you purchased them for when it comes to materials, or the quantity of items you have and how much they cost to manufacture, will give you the total value in stock as it sits right now. And then we have the average cost columns, which get calculated as you generate completed purchase orders and admit raw material inventory to stock, or as you complete manufacturing orders and admit your finished goods into stock. So to get started with the blank t-shirt, let's go ahead and create an average cost value, and you'll see how this gets set up. I need to create a supplier because I don't have one yet, so we'll call this my t-shirt supplier. And I'm going to buy 1 unit of this blank t-shirt for the price of $1. Now remember, $1 is our default purchase price. That is the that is the value that automatically populates this price per unit when we generate a PO for that item. When we mark that item as received, it will actually add 1 unit to stock. The total value of those 1 units is $1. And then this will be the average cost, which is the value in stock divided by the in-stock quantity. Now, moving forward, when we start purchasing again, there might be a situation that comes up where our supplier doubles the price of the blank t-shirt. So we might buy a second one from our t-shirt supplier and create this PO, and it turns out that the price per unit is $2 instead of $1. When the item arrives to stock, this is what happens in this situation. Now you'll see that the price has increased as an average cost to $1.50, and this means that for 2 pieces, the combined total of all the POs was $3. 2 pieces divided by $3 equals $1.50 each. Now, the next thing that you will notice here as well is that when we go into our items page, this cost updated. And the reason why this cost updated from $1.50 total cost to $2 is because the raw material itself increased in average cost from $1 to $1.50. So when you look inside of the printed t-shirt, you're going to also notice that the ingredients cost here went from $1 to $1.50. And the reason for that, you'll see this little eye icon that you can click on, and you'll see that the total ingredients inside of this product, and it will show you that what is the stock cost per unit and how much is being consumed by that particular product in order to make it will give you that cost. And then there is where it actually updates. Now when it comes to printed t-shirts, for example, if we don't have an average cost here, then we need to actually manufacture that product to get a moving average cost for each one of those. So if we make 1 unit based on our bill of materials and we create this order, you're going to see that the total cost is $2 because that is how much the materials plus the operations for that product is at this moment in time. And it will generate a manufacturing order to make 1 unit. We'll put it to a work in progress, and whenever we complete it, you will then see that this printed t-shirt has come to stock for 1 piece and has carried an average cost of $2. So the next time you go around to manufacture another printed t-shirt, we can create a second manufacturing order for that item, and when we open it, it's quite common that something could possibly go wrong when it's being manufactured. So for example, let's say the printing operation or the printing machine that is doing this operation has a problem, and we need to mark in this manufacturing order that it took 6 minutes instead of 3 minutes. So what's going to happen in this case is that when we do this process for 6 minutes, it will actually double the cost of the operation, and the operation will go from 50 cents to $1, which will make the total cost for that one unit $2.50 rather than $2 like it was before. Now, once we complete this operation, it becomes a work in progress, and finally becomes done. This is also going to impact the moving average cost of the product you have in stock. So here you will see the total amount of value in stock for the products that you've made. So you've made 2 units of this product. So you currently have 2 pieces. The first one cost you $2. The second one cost you $2.50. Divide that by the 2 units you have in stock. You have $2.25 per unit average cost. And this is because the first one was $2, the second one was $2.50. The average between those two is $2.25. And so this will also allow you to impact the average cost of the product in stock. And over time, when you see something like this occurring, you'll have the opportunity to really kind of look at what impacted that cost. So for example, you click on the 2 pieces here and you see that, okay, manufacturing order number 1, I made 1 piece. Cost per unit was $2, no problem. Manufacturing order number 2, cost per unit was $2.50. Okay, that's a little bit weird. What's going on? I can open up my manufacturing order number 2, investigate. Okay, it looked like my printing operation had an issue, or you might see a comment somewhere down below saying, hey, this is what happened. And that gives you that little bit of backwards traceability to kind of help identify where problems might be occurring. Other factors that would impact your moving average cost would also include stock adjustments. So you can create a stock adjustment, for example. A lot of cases where this happens, or maybe like a product gets returned to stock, you need to manually add it back in. Perhaps there's a situation where you need to do a stock count and measure up that you have the correct amount in stock. In these situations, what you need to do is you'll add the printed t-shirt, and let's say that I'm going to add this item into stock I'll add an extra one into stock. You would add 1 piece. It will actually pull in the cost per unit as it currently is and add it here. But I mean, if this was something that took place like a month ago, and you know that the cost per unit was not $2, but instead it was maybe $1.50, then you can add that inside of there as well. So in cases like this, you will very easily be able to look on your stock page and identify historically what order or adjustment caused what fluctuation in my unit cost, and then be able to make easy adjustable changes. The most common scenario where this might occur is when you're adding your initial inventory into stock. So for example, let's say that you had maybe 10 products and you created a stock adjustment for your printed t-shirts. And during the time you first added them into stock, you might have assigned a 0 cost per unit, which actually turns bright red to warn you that you shouldn't add items with 0 cost. And in a case like such, this would heavily impact your moving average cost in a very negative sort of way. So when we go back to our stock page, we will see that, it looks like our printed t-shirts are now 46 US dollar cents, which can't possibly be right. So having that backwards traceability to really overview where this mess up took place is, for example, right here with stock adjustment number 4, we added 10 pieces of stock at 0 US dollar cents per unit. So in this particular case, we can easily just simply update the stock adjustment so our perpetual inventory is correct. And if we update it to $2, then we will see that we now have an average cost of $2 and things are more accurate. So that about covers everything for moving average cost. If you have any questions about this, you can always send us a message in our chat widget down below, or shoot us an email to support@katanamrp.com. That's it for now. Have a great day and happy manufacturing.